Hey guys, and welcome back. Today's video is a little different and it's a little bit more serious than my normal videos. The reason for this video is tanks. Yes guys, tanks. Thank you for watching. Again, the reason for this video is another video I watched on the YouTubes. And it was uploaded by Judge Rhadamanthus. And it was all about the Redline rail tank. Now, don't get me wrong, this particular video was 29 minutes long and it was utterly brilliant. A complete masterpiece from start to finish. However, there are a few things that I didn't agree with. So in this video, I'm basically going to tell you those opinions I didn't agree with. And yeah, so as I was watching the video, I agree with quite a few points. And after about 2 minutes, I stopped agreeing with the opinions and outlooks and suggestions for the rail tank nerf. Now, I'm making this video as a response to that because I don't want the rail tank to get nerfed. These points that I agreed with are, as Judge has said, and I am paraphrasing here, you can't judge balance on bugs. And the insertion of a rail tank into the red line uniquely highlights the issues that we have in Dust. I agree completely. Very good. It also, as I said before, it also highlights a few issues with AV, map design, and so on. However, I feel that Judge unfairly focused on the rail tanks being the issue and main cause of his deaths in the game. Not just his, other tankers, other dropshippers, and other mercs, particularly myself. I'm a forge gun / heavy guy, so I get merked by a rail tank on a roof quite frequently, but that's the game. And I think Judge is having an issue with the red line, not the rail tank, because the rail tank sits in the red line safe, and no one's able to engage him, but he's unable to engage everybody else, and cost them ISK, and then take a share of the total ISK at the end of the match. So I don't think that's fair. So the red line. Let's talk about the red line. As we all know, the red line is there to prevent the enemy team encroaching on our safe spawn. Our safe spawn being ground or MCC spawn. But the easiest solution, as been suggested by quite a few people, is just remove the red line completely. But then that doesn't provide us mercs, poor beleaguered mercs, anywhere safe to spawn. Now, there's another suggestion or solution to the problem, and it's quite simple, very unique, very elegant in its idea, and it was given to me by a very good friend of mine, Stein Control. If you see him, shoot him, I'll give you 1,000,000 ISK. No, I won't really. And this will then solve the rail tank issue, the map design issue, the AV issue, and it'll also give us a safe place to spawn away from the enemy fire of other vehicles and so on. Now, his idea and suggestion was have something similar to a POS. For those who don't know, a POS is a player-owned starbase in EVE where you have it and you can mine stuff like moons and so on, whatever. I don't have a POS because they're expensive, which is projected down from the MCC. Now, the MCC isn't covered in this POS shield because it needs to take damage from the other MCC and null cannons, which is awesome. But the MCC provides power to the ground spawn, and when the MCC goes up in a glorious explosion and a cloud of smoke, the ground spawn is no longer needed. So there's your simple solution on how to regulate the POS shield, the ground spawn shield. Okay, now the idea is that it only covers the spawn base and nothing else. As you know, the spawn bases tend to be quite small, and the red line extends out from the base. Now, if you have a small spawn point and everywhere else is hostile, that will then negate the need for the red line rail tank, because there won't be a red line. There will be a rail tank on a hill, like a sniper on a hill, and you can then go and engage this tank with a dropship, AV, or other vehicles without having to worry about the 15 or 20 second timer before you have to get in and get out. This will then lower the loadout of the tank, the DPS, and the thought behind the loadout without the need for a nerf. And as everyone who knows me knows, I freaking hate nerfs. I think if you do nerf the tank, the rail tank particularly, you'll break the game mechanics even further. I don't propose any nerf to any vehicles at all. I do suggest maybe perhaps buffing the swarm launcher CCP. You might want to fix that one quickly. But again, it doesn't need any nerfs. It doesn't need any current changes to any other game mechanics. We do already have this in EVE. We can extend it down over to the ground spawn, and if before you even say, oh, but bam, we don't have any ways of, or any ideas how to have a barrier to shoot into or out of, we do. The MCC can't be shot into or out of from the ground, because we had a MCC sniper crisis, I believe it was 1.2, thereabouts, 1.2-ish, 1.1-ish, thereabouts. And CCP solved that issue by creating a force field you can't fire out of. Well, why don't you create a barrier like that around the entire ground spawn? You know, and then providing vulnerability to vehicles. So that's basically the idea there. In this eloquent drawing, and yes, I draw on a 4-year-old level, you will see the current mechanics. The two enemy red lines, the red line rail tank, beautiful, beautiful drawing there, and Judge's derp ship. Now you can see the rail tank can then engage the dropship at will whenever Judge is flying low, and Judge does have a safe spot by going straight up. Alright, this is Judge's proposed mechanics. As you can see here, the two enemy red lines, the rail tank, and then you can see the Pythagoras theorem he used to call for a nerf to the power, DPS, and range. Power and DPS, God. The DPS and range. Also the elevation, I believe, is called for an elevation tweak there as well. Which is, you know, fair enough. That's his point of view. But the Judge still has a safe spot above the elevation of the tank. Now, it's not fair to Judge because then he has to stay up there in the red line rail tank and then engage him at will, or just by rolling down the hill and he gets greater elevation. Now, I don't believe anything should be safe, and at all. And simply stating I'm doing everything right, why should I be shot at, isn't a justification or reason enough to have the rail tank nerfed. Now, as he has said, the rail tank is a hard counter for other tanks, lavs, and dropships. That's what the rail tank's there for. Let it do its job. Why call for a nerf to the elevation and DPS and range of the vehicle to shoot at you when all you're doing is just moaning every time you get shot, which is also an opinion. Now, as you can see here in this eloquent drawing, is my suggested idea. There's the MCC, there's the projected shield around the base, there's the tank, there's the swarm and forge guns, and there's the derp ship. And as you can see, the tank is outside of the safe zone and therefore can be engaged. Okay, and therefore it's vulnerable, so he now needs to fit armor plates which take up CPU and power grid. He can't fit damage mods because if he does, he doesn't have enough protection, and he can't deal as much damage, therefore completely rethinking the loadout of the actual tank itself. That, guys, is my opinion on how to fix the red line rail tank issue, along with the red line sniper issue. And as I've said many times before to my corp mates and a few other mercs out there, opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has them. This is my arsehole. Thank you very much for watching. Choo choo, motherfuckers. Choo choo. Oh yes, and bacon flavored tears. Bye.